It is her whole life in a nice piece of tape. Margaret Trudeau just back from Ethiopia, working with an organization called WaterCan to bring more fresh water to poor countries. How are you?
Thank you. I'm just so well, George.
Excellent. Yeah. How's Justin?
Justin is just fine. All my kids are great.
Excellent, excellent.
God.
You just got back from Africa.
I did.
What were you doing there?
I was there. It's the third time I visited our projects in Africa. I'm with an organization called WaterCan, and we put clean, safe water into the poorest villages in the world. Right now we're working in, just as Bob Geldof was talking about, in East Africa where the need is greatest, in Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. So I was visiting in Ethiopia to some of the poorest places I've ever seen. Heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
It's you know, you hear about it, and you grow up and you flip through the pages of National Geographic, and you kind of have, you know, your own understanding of what it is. And when you go there, it's a little bit different.
One of the things that is amazing, George, is that these people are actually happy. And you look, you have nothing. Once we give them clean water, that's the first step in alleviating poverty, is clean water, because every 15 seconds a child dies. There's just nothing but death and suffering in the villages. Once the clean water goes in, then things start to get better. And certainly the women, the drudgery of getting water every day.
And the absolute, I mean, the fear and risk of having to trek, you know, miles away.
Well, a lot of assault. That's how a lot of rapes, a lot of AIDS is caused by that long, lonely walk to the water hole. So we change things. We really make a difference. We're mean and lean. We're a tight little organization, and I love working for WaterCan.
Well, we don't want to turn this into an episode of Cheers, where you know you're Cliff Clavin and you brought your photo album. You know, well, you know there, Georgie. We have, but we have some pictures, don't we? Some pictures from your time over there. We should show some pictures. So, I mean, take us through what we're seeing here.
Well, there's Sophie with her new little baby.
She's not adopting that baby, is she?
Oh, well, of course she is. Yeah, everybody has to bring a baby home from Africa. No, I wish, because I'd like to have as many grandchildren as possible. No, Sophie is Justin's wife, and she'd been to Africa on her honeymoon, first-class Africa safari, so I thought I'd introduce her to my Africa, and she was greatly moved. I think her life will be changed. It is once you see what the reality of Africa. Your life is changed. Here's a water source. This is a catchment where water is gathered from the rain. Makes such a difference. The kids are just so happy. All they ever said to us was, money, money, money. That was all. And one said to me, you are money. Oh. I said, oh, I am. Right. I am.
You've been called a lot of things. You ever been called money before?
No, never, never, never.
That's amazing. Oh, there it is, man. The power of water.
There's the water, the clean water. What a difference it makes. Yeah.
You know, again, you know, Africa, you know, it's a continent. People talk about it as if it's one big thing and with one problem. There's so many little things in there, except, as somebody once said to me, people die one at a time. It's a very personal thing.
Yes.
And, you know, it's interesting when we found out you were going to be able to come on the show, we were thinking about your life and all the things you've done. You actually went public a year ago or so, about, you know, or even longer, with the things you go through.
6 months
ago.
6
months even, yeah.
I sort of came out of the closet talking about the mental struggles that I've had. I have bipolar disorder, which causes mood swings from very low to very high. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride emotionally.
Why did you do that? Why did you decide to come on?
Because I've got help. I've recovered. I live the most beautiful, balanced, healthy life, which I didn't have for so many years, because it's the chemical imbalance in the brain. The brain is like the kidney, the liver, the heart. It can dysfunction, it can have imbalances, and it can be corrected. And with medication, the breakthroughs that they've made in medical science are enormous. And when I was treated years ago, it was what we called dirty drugs, and the side effects were terrible. They didn't work, and I lost hope in the medical community. But after my last bout, after Pierre died, I had a terrible bout of illness and episode, and then I started getting better, and I got well, finally, and I just feel so, I want people to know that there is recovery, there is hope, and there's a stigma towards mental illness that should be lifted.
You remember the time when you were married to the Prime Minister, the most famous man of the country, and all the stuff that came with that. It's certainly a lot of the media attention. Were you hesitant to go back into that world and say, hi, come back in? Because you've done a really good job.
Goodness, I'm not 22 anymore. I think I can handle it now. At 58, I certainly couldn't handle it at 22. I have the wisdom of my years, and I know that with my name, with the Trudeau name, and with what I've learned from life, I have a responsibility, a social responsibility, if you will. Why not use my name for a good cause, to make a difference?
Do you ever get a chance to offer counsel to people who are in your position? You know, just sort of say, listen, trust me, it gets better or it gets worse, or...
Well, I was in quite a unique situation being so young as a Prime Minister's wife. Certainly there isn't any Prime Minister's wife since that has been so young and inexperienced in politics. Most Prime Minister's wives have gone through the political process with their husbands for a long time before they end up at 24 Sussex. My only advice, which I will give to everybody, is to focus on one thing. You can spread yourself so thin in life that you don't, nothing makes any difference that you do, but where if you focus in, myself, I'm focused in on mental health issues and on water can, and that's where all my energy and my focus goes, and it makes it a lot easier because there's so many causes.
Yes.
There's so many things that we could be doing, but you should choose one. Stephen Lewis gave that advice too. Choose one NGO, and give it, give to it.
Going to take advice, take it from a wise man like
Yeah.
Stephen. Nice to
Thank
see
you,
you.
George.
Everybody, Margaret Trudeau on the show.